Well, hello, my name is Ozan, and I'll be making my final presentation on the MMI 508 Game Metrics Term project. This is the final phase, phase 4. I've done an iterative, I've done iterative improvements on Vampire Survivors clone using games user research. And let's see how it went. First of all, why did I choose this game? I am a Unity game developer, so I wanted to be able to understand the changes done by AI, and instead of blindly accepting them. Um, I wanted to be able to evaluate the changes, alter it myself if needed. So that was the reason to choose a Unity open source game. And also, I knew the original game, the original Vampire Survivors game that you can see on right, and I liked the game. I know its design language, uh, so that I thought it could help to evaluate it better. But the clone was someone else's that needed to be studied, and I had no idea of its inner workings on the original game or the clone. And also, I wanted a bit of a challenge, and this is rather this can be considered as a complex game because it has so much systems underneath, spawning weapons, economy, etc., etc. Many intervention points that I can act upon, but a simple game loop to explain to players. We'll see. So the phase, let's start with the phase 0. Uh, as I said, the core loop was rather simple. The player moves around and weapons attack automatically. Defeated enemies drop some experience gems, and you can level up by collecting these experience gems. The level ups offer new weapons or upgrades, and as I said, many game layers that are is present underneath the game. And my role was not to only uh, observe the game and also to uh, check whether the AI assistance code made sense. The project required to make these changes using an AI agent, uh, but I needed to understand and evaluate it. Also, uh, I saw this as a pure advantage, but later this sense of confidence and expertise can be a problem. I've learned it in the later stages. Uh, we'll talk about it. So let's see the base game. Uh, it has a simple menu. You select the base character. The players just only moves around. When you level up by collecting these blue gems, a level up screen pops up, lets you choose among 3 options. Like some of them are upgrades to like new weapons, some upgrades or recovery, health recovery, lifestyle, new weapon, etc., etc. This is the main game loop. The players just move around. The weapons fire automatically. This is how the game is being played. After some point, different types of enemies come, like the green ones popped up. And there are some chests in the game that drop some power-ups that you can see here. The player just collected a magnet. The magnet collects all of the gems in the map, and the health potion is just fills your HP, etc., etc. And this is a video taken uh, after all the phases. So this is the base game, but this video is taken intentionally to show a critical problem. And that problem is, after some point that you can see that I also track the FPS of the game. on the top left corner, it's around 90 FPS at the start. Not a problem. I mean, it starts with 100 or so, but after some point, it starts to drop to like 60s, and then exponentially it gets worse as the enemies pile up. Uh, Now it dropped to 30s or 40s, and then just immediately it drops to 7, 4, 3, 2. I mean, as you can see, the game became unplayable right now. 2 FPS is just watching a picture. It's not playing. So it's the player loses all its control. I'm not pausing the game. It just goes frame by frame. So that was a drastic problem. And I mean, look at this: 4 FPS, 5 FPS, unplayable. You cannot see where you're going, so it's natural to be caught and die. And of course, it feels unfair. So then came phase one, the heuristics. The problems I suggested, my assumptions were the camera FOV, the field of view, was narrow uh, compared to the original game. Like, look at the left one, look at the right one. A wider FOV lets players choose some escape paths. It lets see some chests and upgrades, and they can move more strategically. And the power-ups that are being collected from the chests were being activated by clicking. And in a game that is chaotic like this, it's not meaningful to expect players to click on a little UI icon. So it diverts their attention from the game's flow to clicking on a small icon. So it was a problem. Also, the enemies were like all same sizes and speed. Their HPs and damages differ. There are several enemy types, but their sizes and speeds are all the same. In games like this, they usually have enemy archetypes, like the smaller, faster swarms and bigger, slower tanks and stronger types, maybe. So it wasn't present in the game. Also, no short-term rewards, like no surprise power-up that lets you, gather more experience in an intense, more damage, more speed. Also, I mean, it would add more variety and more fun in the game. And there's no audio at all. There's no audio feedback, and a game like this, I think, is not complete without audio. And my first intervention was to increase the camera camera field of view by 50%, and it's done by the AI agent. And what my inspection caught and missed, the hotkey and audio predictions were strong. We'll see about it. The camera change was also improves the experience, and actually the heuristics were more focused on game design and game mechanics, and the blind spot was just missing the big thing, the performance issue, the FPS drop. So I couldn't find the problem that would dominate the phase 2 and 3. We'll see about it. And then came phase 2. Phase 2, the method was to gather 5 participants that played on my computer, and then I observed them. Their screens were recorded with OBS, a microphone, captured their verbal comments, and I've just observed them, and they played with a microphone on, and a screen recording also took place. It showed what participants did, but also how they felt. And it surfaced some problems like item use, gem collection, progression clarity, uh, enemy HP damage feedback, and enemy variety, lots of things. But as I said, the FPS problem, the performance problem, was a major issue. Two participants chose an avoidant playstyle. When I was testing the game, I was more aggressive and I was killing the enemies because I was experienced in a game like this, and I didn't expect a pixel game to have FPS drops or performance issues. And as these two participants chose this avoidant playstyle, they accumulated large groups of enemies, and their game completely crashed. They couldn't see where they're going, and they died. Uh, so this was my blind spot. And then 3 changes were done at the end of phase 2. The first optimization pass was done by Cloud Code. It's fixed some memory issues, allocation issues, also some rendering issues like distant enemy calling, GPU instancing, and introducing a custom, more performance shader. Um I thought I solved the problem because it was a good intervention by the AI, and it looked like a big change, but we'll see it didn't. Uh, it didn't solve it fully. And I've introduced the item hotkeys. I've uh, changed the item, the power up UI layout, and put them underneath the screen. I added some tooltips like 1, 2, 3, 4, like to show the keybinds, and also I've increased the gem collection radius. So it was there were some comments from the players like it felt unfair. They were saying, "I've touched the gem. Why didn't I collect it?" So I've increased the uh, radius of the gems so that you don't need to directly step on them, but just a simple touch is enough to collect them. And then phase 3 come. For the phase 3, I've used game experience questionnaire, core module, the full 33 item with 7 experience modules, components, uh, applied the questionnaire before and after the intervention. Uh, 8 participants completed the pre-intervention round. One couldn't attend the post-intervention, and 7 returned. So I had 7 matched pairs of participants. And I also added a custom telemetry manager uh, by using AI, of course, um, a 1-row session summary, time-stamped event log. It had lots of details like survival, final level, damage done, damage taken, damage per second, damage per minute, coins, bosses, the items they chose, lots of detail. And also, as I said, inventory and power-up build order. The pre-intervention phase baseline, it already had the camera fix, the hotkeys, and the optimization pass 1, and also the bigger gems. But all 8 participants died. Mean survival rate was around 430 seconds. And tension and annoyance was relatively high, and lowest items is imaginative explorer aesthetics richness. It functioned mechanically, but uh, apparently it felt sparse, uh, unclear, and a little bit disturbing to the players, and unfinished. sensory immersion was really low, as you can see. And the big issue with AI, the frustrating part, the AI couldn't find the real performance bottleneck. I had tons of prompts to make AI do this job, but it failed at the end. It tried to do some real big changes, but it always failed. At the end, I needed to open up the Unity profiler, examine the game, examine the game's performance and its functions, how it goes, and I've found that the real issue was not rendering; it was the physics, and the AI agent couldn't find it. And so uh, then again, using the help of AI to fix this physics issue, Uh, we've targeted the physics. We reduced the collider overlap, reduced the fixed time step from 0.02 to 0.04 to reduce the uh, you know computational load, uh, and then max time step changed. Also, I've added a spawn throttling system. I've described to AI, and it implemented it. It's like after after some points, after some number of enemies is present, the spawn gets slower. Spawn of the enemies gets slower. And also a probabilistic lifetime culling is like if you cannot see an enemy, a distant enemy, and they're alive for a period like 20 seconds, they start to roll a dice every 2 or 4 seconds, like a probabilistic dice, and if they fail, they are destroyed or went back to the pool. Also, I've dropped the quality, the rendering quality to ultra high to high without any visible loss. So, and then I've also, from the feedback of the players and my heuristics, saw that the lack of audio was a problem. So I've asked my uh, AI agent to build a audio manager system and create some hooks for me. But the AI couldn't, of course, produce the sounds and music I needed. So I've found the music and the sound effects. I've edited some of them in Audacity to fit the feel I wanted, and just hooked into this audio manager. And also I have made some very small game play changes, but they're not like major changes that would be considered like applying many changes at once. That was like I've added gem collider slightly enlarged. Uh, Ranged enemy damage was reduced by 10%, and also a slight color difference to friendly visual effects was done. And then the results. Um, the game experience core module with 7 matched pairs showed that after the intervention, the post intervention, all signals are much better. Like competence increased, sensory and imaginary immersion increased drastically, uh, probably due to introducing of the audio. Sense of flow increased, annoyance dropped dramatically, challenged pretty much stayed the same. The negative effect dropped, which is nice, and the positive effect increased. All good results. And some behavior changes from the telemetry I've collected. The enemies killed is increased. Also, uh, their survival time is now more, but also their kills per minute is more. They can, I think it's more enjoyable to do more damage, more kills in a minute. So some people also could reach the final level. Also, you can see the damage taken is more. I mean, they took more damage, but they stayed alive. And probably it made this game more fun. So uh, the complaints about performance, we diagnosed the root cause and got a smoother play. Audio, I predicted in phase 1, confirmed in the pre-intervention in phase 3, and it got very strong GUQ gains. And the chain of evidence is far more convincing than one table value. Some contradictions are also there. Challenge is kind of flat, fairness and control, but not difficulty. More damage taken, yet less annoyance. Readable, audible feedback, as I said. Range damage decreased, but it didn't fix the range deaths. The main cause was still the ranged enemies, but I mean, it requires further iterations maybe. And telemetry showed that nobody used the power-ups by clicking, and my heuristics was right about it. Everyone used the power-ups because it felt easier. Um, I'm trying to wrap up this now. So my assumptions, what actually happened and where I was wrong. The camera hotkeys feedback are the main UX problems, and the performance became the highest priority issue. And my walkthrough covered design conventions. This was the reason, not other players' behavior. I couldn't see it. What I expected, a simple 2D pixel game I thought it would run smoothly. But avoidant play distorted this vision. I mean, I thought I solved the performance issues in phase 2, but phase 3 again reproduced it. So I was I was overconcluded too early. More prompting would find the bottleneck, I thought, but it didn't. As I mentioned, the physics wasn't visible to the AI agent, so I had to step in. The ranged damage reducing makes the deaths fairer. It's all actually helped, but maybe the legibility of the enemies was more important. I'm not sure about it, though. Better performance would feel easier, I thought. It kind of is, but challenge barely moved. I think maybe some other uh, uh, interventions to keep challenge still high, but still enjoyable, maybe applied. So I've already mentioned these. The AI assistant was brilliant at code-based navigation and implementation speed, but like rendering optimizations, hotkeys, telemetry, audio hooks, and pitch variation. But in diagnosis, it failed. It was stuck in its framing during the optimization marathon. Couldn't play, couldn't really detect the game feel. So my contribution was the project choice, study design, observation and code review of the AI, and simplified some over engineerings done by the AI. And I've used the profiler to diagnose the physics bottleneck. I've sourced, selected, and edited the audio, music, and sound effects, and prioritized findings and read contradictions. So this is the final version of the game. It has audio. I'll let you. It has a music, main menu music, just for fun. Also, game has a music now, some soundtracks. Also, some sound effects, as you can see. Gem collection, damage taken, damage given, enemy killed, and level up all have some sound effects. It feels much more responsive, much more alive this way. I'll just go over it really quickly. And as you can see, the FPS will not drop even with the large number of enemies. You'll see. So you get the idea. The game changed very much, but I think for the better. So my final learning is that the final game is more playable, more responsive, and complete than the repository I've started with. And methods answer different questions. Heuristics generate hypotheses, but observations reveals real strategies. Telemetry records what actually happened, and questionnaires capture how the players felt, and comments, their open-ended comments, explain why. User research is part of the design loop, not a final validation stage after the rework. This is maybe the biggest learning in this project because uh, even small samples of playtests may show really important problems or can give really important feedback. Uh, you don't need to wait too long to act and apply some user research on players. Uh, just starting small is really valuable for the game developers. And AI makes the game this loop faster, but its quality still depends on the human ability to observe, question, diagnose, and learn. But I'm not sure how long this will uh, stay this way. The human touch is still valuable, but I don't know what the time will bring. So this was all. Thank you for your kind attention.